This is a Heart and Hand production.
Hello everyone, my name's David Edgar, I'm the host of Heart and Hand the Rangers podcast. I'm joining you today from a very flat feeling at Ibrox after Rangers went down by 3-2 at home here to Motherwell. This is a massively bad result, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Any slip up in the title race was going to be huge, but your home games you absolutely have to win and you cannot be conceding 3 goals at home. We went 2 down last time out and came back to win. It's a risky business to think that's a repeatable trick. We seem to do it today, going 2-0 down. And they did fight back, Rangers, in the second half, brought it back to 2 each, and then still lost, which in some ways is even more painful. I think that the performance in the first half was truly awful. Rangers were second best all over the park. Motherwell played us off the park. Sometimes you have to hold your hand up and say, we got absolutely battered there, and we did. They were sharper, they were harder working, they were more ambitious, and they played better football than we did, and Rangers couldn't get near them for large parts of that first half. And it was Motherwell knocking the ball about in triangles, giving goes, working angles for each other, quick switches of plays to the wing, opening up an extra man, and Rangers just couldn't combat it. We looked at 6s and 7s, the midfield of Chukwueze and Raskin was non-existent, and Motherwell just continually were causing us problems, and they took the lead early on when we get carved open by what looked like a very simple move by Motherwell. Just, as I say, some nice 1s, 2s, the runners go, Rangers can't match it, and it ends up in the back of the net, and then a few minutes later it was 2, this time down the other flank, and again, you know, Rangers going to sleep, Dujon Sterling at the back post, nowhere near his man, and we're 2 down, and the only consolation at half time you could take was that it was only 2. It was really that bad in the first half. Second half, Rangers changed shape and system, the manager again. As 2 weeks in a row he's had to do that. That means he's getting it wrong at the start. That's the reality, and that means that whatever we set out to do in the first half didn't work. Diamandi came on and improved us a great deal, and really Rangers starting to pass the ball for the first time, got ourselves back into it with a lovely move that ends up with Yusuf Chermiti taking a nice touch past the defender and slipping it past the goalkeeper. And at that point Ibrox erupted, the atmosphere was great, and 15 minutes later from a corner it's 2 each. Great ball in from Tav, headed back across goal, and Chermiti's there to nod home. And at that point, I really felt we would go on and win the game. We seemed to have the momentum, but then we seemed to get a little bit sluggish, whether or not it was a case of just like, right, well, we've climbed the mountain. But you know, Motherwell were still dangerous. They were still knocking the ball. They don't deviate from what they do, and they are good at it, and you've got to be ready to deal with that, and we just simply weren't today. But to then concede a third, you just can't. You just can't. The manager has made a change where he's brought on Barron for Asgard, which is a more defensive player. I would have thought we would go with an attacker, but he's gone with that. And then we still concede. It's the worst of all worlds. And this again, another move down the flank where we struggled all day. And, you know, typical shot coming in. Manny Fernandez stretches to deal with it and he heads it past the keeper. And the game was gone. Even then, though, we should have got at least a point because we've created a chance in injury time. And Chermiti's got to score. He's got to complete his hat-trick, but he doesn't. It's saved. And then Mikey Moore can't knock the rebound in. You know, you could tell by the players' reaction at the end. They knew, but you cannot keep conceding 2-3 goals every game and expect to win football matches. Eventually it's going to come back and hurt you, and to be conceding 3 goals at home for a Rangers team is always unacceptable, certainly domestically. It feels like the end of the world right now. It's not. There are still games to go, and if Rangers can pick ourselves up and win, then we can still win the title. But I think that there's going to be twists and turns, etc., as the cliche goes, but you didn't expect them to come in our home games, and this felt like a real painful one today. It felt like a real big one today. As I say, you know, at 2 each, if you can't win, you don't lose. and we managed to do that. And again, it's this Rangers team makes it hard for itself constantly. And eventually today the challenge was too big. We gave ourselves too big a job to do against a Motherwell team who were very good and who, I have to say, played better football than we did. And I can't stand here and say it wasn't deserved for them to win. So Rangers don't have much time now to rethink it. Massive game next week, as we know, a week tomorrow at Tynecastle. And defeating that would spell the end for us. So it's win or bust from here for Rangers till the end of the season. Thanks for joining me. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.